Hello students, welcome to the second part of the chapter motion of 9th class physics. In the first part we have studied about the introduction of the motion, and in the introduction of motion we have seen that what is called as the motion of an object. While discussing the motion of an object, we have studied that motion of an object is nothing but when a body is said to be in motion when its position changes continuously with respect to a stationary object or a fixed point. This particular motion of an object, when it moves from one position to another position by considering one fixed point with respect to time, that particular change in position of the object is called as the motion of the object. While discussing the motion of the object, we have considered what is called as the reference point. Reference point is that point where the object starts its motion, and all the measurements we used to do with the help of that particular reference point. uh, that reference point is necessarily be a fixed point. We have considered some examples, that is moving car or a bike or truck. You can consider any example which is related with which is changing the position with respect to fixed point or reference point with respect to time. Moving little bit ahead, we have seen about what are called as the different types of the motions. In different types of the motion, as in some examples we have considered about vibratory motion, oscillatory motion, circular motion, and simple harmonic motion. As we have at the last part of the chapter, we are going to discuss about the circular motion. That's why we have discussed about the types of motion. Two terms frequently will be coming in this chapter. Those two terms are nothing but the object which is at rest and the object which is in motion. Now, what is called as an object at rest? The object is said to be at rest if the object is not changing its position continuously with respect to time. That object is considered to be at rest. And obviously the object which is in motion, obviously the object performs the motion, that object is considered as an object in motion. Now, moving little bit ahead, we are going to see in this second part, that is nothing but what is called as the distance and displacement of the object. As I already told you, that distance and displacement, these two concepts are very fundamental concept, and as these concepts are fundamental, we are going to use these concepts in the definition of speed as well as velocity, and later on also in the different types of motions of the object. So let's define what is called as the distance and displacement. Basically, distance and displacement, prima facie these two quantities look same, but in actual practice, distance and displacement, these two are altogether different quantities. Now, why these are the different quantities? Before introduction of what is called as the distance, the definition of the distance, and what is called as the definition of displacement, let me tell you about the vectors and scalar quantities, because to understand what is called as the distance and displacement, we have to take the help of what is called as the vectors and scalar quantities. So vector quantities are those quantities which requires, for the representation, which requires magnitude as well as direction. So those quantities which cannot be sufficiently described by describing the motion of an object, but along with magnitude of the object, along with the magnitude it requires the direction also. For the effective representation of that particular quantity, uh, direction as well as magnitude, both of these things are necessary. Those quantities are called as the vector quantities. However, scalar quantities are those quantities which can be represented effectively merely with the magnitude of that particular quantity. Those quantities are called as scalar quantities. If you consider about the examples of vector and scalar quantities, vector quantities, we can take the example of velocity, acceleration, momentum. However, the scalar quantities can be considered as mass uh, as well as distance. These are some examples of the scalar quantities. Now, let us first define what is called as the distance of the object. Now, when any object performs the motion, that means that object is moving from one point to the another point. However, the motion of the object from which it is starts, that particular point is considered as an initial point of an object, and where the object stops, that particular point is referred as the final position of the object. So all the measurements are done in between this initial point and the final point of the object. So let's first define what is called as the distance of an object. I will tell you the definition first, and then we will see about this particular example which has been discussed over here. So if you look at the definition of the distance, when a body moves from one point to another point, or this one point to another point can be referred as initial point and the final point, as I already told you. When a body moves from one point to another point, that is from initial point to the final point, the distance is the actual path length traversed by the object. Now when we are moving from one point to another point, the actual path which is traveled by the object during the initial point to the final point, this particular actual path which is traversed by that particular object is called as the distance. For example, let's consider this example over here. Imagine a body is moving along this particular path. I have shown this path with the help of this green color marker, so that you will come to know that the body is moving like this. So you can consider any object, you can consider any car, you can consider any bike, you can consider whatever any object which is traveling. So imagine the object moved from A to B first, then from B to C, then from C to D, and from D to E, and again from E to F. So imagine that A is the initial point and F is the final point of the object. The various distances between the points I have shown over here. So you are seeing that the objects are moving from A to B, it is taking right turn, then again from C it is moving in straight line, and again at D it is moving towards left, from E to F it is again moving in straight line. So irrespective of the direction in which the object is moving, now if AB distance, this particular measurement is nothing but 2 meter, B to C it is 1 meter, C to D it is 3 meter, from D to E it is 4 meter, and from E to F it is 2 meter, then I can say that the total length of the path covered by the object between initial point A to the final point F is nothing but addition of 2 meter plus 1 meter plus 3 meter plus 4 meter plus 2 meter, it gives me 12 meter. So this is the actual path length which is covered by the object during the initial point and the final point. So this is 12 meter is nothing but the distance of the object. Now let's see about the displacement. Displacement is a vector quantity. As I have already told you that along with the magnitude, direction is also necessary to express this particular displacement quantity. Okay, so we will come in detail when we'll see about point of differences between distance and displacement. At that time I will tell you how exactly the role of vector as well as scalar quantity plays an important role in distance and displacement. Imagine, for sake of instance, for understanding purpose, let's imagine that the object is moving from A to B and from B to C. So from A to B motion of the object covered, the distance is nothing but 4 meter. From B it took the left turn and reaches up to the point C, it covered already 3 meter. Now if you discuss about what is called as the distance during this motion of an object from A to C, then I would say that the distance covered by the object is nothing but this 4 meter plus this 3 meter, that is nothing but 7 meters. So if you look carefully, the distance covered by the object in this particular motion from A initial point up to the C final point, then I must say that the actual path length is nothing but 4 meter plus 3 meter, that is nothing but 7 meter. But let's discuss about what is called as the displacement. So if you look, this is an initial point and this is the final point. Then if I want to define the displacement, then during the motion of the object, the shortest distance, this word shortest distance is very, very important over here. I am underlining it because this is an important word. So during the motion of the object, the shortest distance between initial and final position of the object is called as the displacement. So there may be various paths by which we can reach from A to C. Some paths may be along A to B and B to C, some paths may be different along the different direction. But if you look at the shortest path, then A to C, this dotted line is nothing but the shortest path between the initial and final point. So this particular magnitude of A to C will be considered as the displacement. Now if I join this A to C, this becomes as right angle triangle, and if I apply the Pythagoras theorem over here, that is if I want to write it, I can write it that AC square will be is equals to AB square plus BC square. This is according to the Pythagoras theorem. So if I now want to determine the magnitude of this particular length of AC, then I can determine it, and it comes to be 5 meter. So I can say that in this example, AC is nothing but the shortest path. Since it is the shortest path, it is nothing but the displacement of the object. So here two things we come to know, that it's not necessary always that distance and displacement are same quantities. Here you are able to see that here 7 meter is the distance of the object. As what is the distance? Distance is nothing but the actual path. And when we talk about the displacement, it's not necessary that the actual path, but in fact displacement is nothing but the shortest distance. So here shortest distance is nothing but AC, and this shortest distance comes out to be 5 meter. So displacement, it is the shortest distance covered by the object between initial point and the final point. It is called as the displacement of the object. Now what is the unit of the distance? What is the unit of displacement? Distance for unit for the distance and unit for the displacement are same. In MK system unit, SI system unit, meter is the unit of the distance as well as displacement, and in CGS system this is nothing but MK system unit, and in CGS system it can be considered as centimeter. So meter in MK system, it is the unit for distance as well as displacement, and in CGS system centimeter is the unit for distance as well as displacement. So here the second parts end. In next part we will be discussing about what are the broad points of differentiation between distance as well as displacement. So see you in the third part. Thank you.